You guys are awesome. I think it's a tie between the three of you. But I think the system should choose one, and Excalibur is chosen. David says hello. He just says, the heck with it. Marielos also feels is number one. I think the three of you are. Well, Marielos, I think all three of you were just the same, because it just came boom, boom, boom. And I think the system couldn't tell, but chose just one. I think, however, I don't think it's about who was first. It's about it can't distinguish who was first. So, but however, Excalibur got to be the first on the list when it was printed. David came second, and then Marielos was written there. But I really think all three of you just hit it at the same time. You guys are now the fastest gun in the West. And then Ra, right away. Ra is also right there. Hello, Ra. Good to see you, dear. Avatar says, I'm at the gym and listening to you. Okay. Good. Zahin says, David, you won't be able to beat Excalibur. No, I think the three of them were at the same time, but the system chooses somebody, and it's always Excalibur. Or maybe Excalibur was just that much a little bit earlier. The chosen one. Emmanuel. Hello. Marielos. So how many of you have seen the video I put out last night? It's about 8 seconds. It's about how horse sounds when you tell him life is an illusion. I just couldn't stop laughing myself, because apparently at the beginning of my live talk, I was clearing my throat, and it sure sounded like a horse. So I thought it would be just, you know, it would be just something to laugh about. So that's right, team 1 of 3. Ah, yeah, you typed in hello, and that took time. I think, that's where the trick is. So I think, see, Excalibur, that's what happened. Excalibur just said 1, but then he went through a couple of other little things. So definitely he was first, because Marielos also said 1, but was even shorter than what Excalibur said. So that means Excalibur actually came in just a little bit earlier. And David, by the time you finished hello, that was already time taken. Yeah, now, okay. So, X1, David 2, and Marielos 3. That's right. Reese says, hi, Mehran, and everyone. Hello, Reese. Yeah, Excalibur has reflex of cat. So you did listen, let's watch it, David, right? The horse. Excalibur says, yes, Mehran, I listened with my eyes closed, and you sound just like a horse. Yeah, and I think it's just, I love horses so much that I think it's just become part of me. So I love to make that sound. Now it's naturally I'm making it, I guess. Black Hat says, hello, Mehran. You're the man. Hello, Black Hat. Mariella says, cold in Canada. Actually, it's raining hard right now. Small drizzle, small drops, but hard of fill. Everywhere is wet. It is chilly. It's not, although it's already spring, it's kind of weird. I mean, not the same as the other years. You expect it to start being more sunny. It was sunny yesterday, but not right now. Well, I have watched that little video myself 10 times because to me it's very funny. Excalibur says, I would like to dedicate my chat championship to myself and thank my Audi. Okay, you may. Dunan says, hello sir, how are you? Good, Dunan. Remember guys, where you tuning in from, how old you are, and if your picture or screen name doesn't let me know if you're a man or woman. Please do not forget this protocol. Black Hat says, Mehran, what do you think of a girl that one day says she feels she's falling in love, she cares about me, etc., and then when we have an argument, she says she has no feelings for me, she's playing with me. Well, she's playing with you when she says she's playing with you. And or maybe when she says she has feeling with you, she's just trying to get attention and feel good about herself because she's at that moment that she feels really happy about the two of you, or everything seems okay in her life. She feels comfortable, she feels relaxed, and she expresses that. And don't worry about what she says, she said yesterday, or what she said after the argument. And when there is an argument, obviously they're not passing out cakes. It's a war, it's an argument. So if you expect your girlfriend to be fighting with you and say, darling, I love you, I mean, then you gotta question her because that's not balanced. If you're arguing, and obviously she's going to try to stand strong by trying to remind you that what she told you the day before, that she loves you and all that, is not gonna stay and it's not gonna work here, because at this very moment she doesn't. And that's because her image of what the image she had of herself in her own mind is now changed, and she wants to make sure that you will not take for granted what she said before. It's a reaction, it's not a game, it's true. What do you feel about her when you're arguing with her and she's not complying with your points of view? You may not say that you hate her, but you will say that, you know, obviously you know in your mind that you don't feel the same way about her. It's all about emotions and resonance. Yeah? It's like two instruments are playing a music. When one instrument is actually out of tune or is not playing it in the right octaves or right note, the other one feels not in harmony, and it's irritating to the other instrument. It says, this is not the music that we were feeling good about playing it. It's not the right music. The resonance is not clear, and you will know that the resonance is not clear. This instrument is playing out of tune, or according to what the expectation of this instrument is, this one's playing out of tune. So therefore the resonance of being created by this instrument is not comfortable and is not complementary to this one. So naturally it doesn't affect that other instrument in a positive way. So she says, I have no feeling about it. I don't like you, because the resonance is not. But when the two instruments are playing the same tune and same everything, and the resonance are in harmony, then obviously she feels good. It's all about resonance. So when you guys have an argument, it's like you've changed the resonance. The way you're affecting her is changed, and she doesn't feel comfortable. The music is not going well. Obviously, she's not going to liking it, and she's going to tell you. So don't think of it as a game. It's actually how she feels, because moods, emotions all create resonance, and the resonance all make a difference in your level of clarity of the ripples in your mind. The lower the ripples in your mind is, the clearer and calmer your mind is, which represents the more of a pleasant resonance and harmony with whatever it is that you're doing. When that, through the argument or even listening to a music, is not created, you shut the music off, or you want to express that you're displeased with that in that argument to your partner. So, there's nothing there to, I guess, wonder. I assure you, once you're being, both of you understand and respect each other, and let go that misunderstanding or whatever challenge it was, and you guys are lovey-dovey again, a resonance is created and is cleaned out, the distortions are gone, and you guys feel good, and she'll tell you again that she likes you and all that. So the thing is, two people in a relationship, they think it's a contract that once one says I love you, that's going to go on forever or for the next so long, and if she says she has no right to change it. But that's only for that period. It is always okay to change it. It's not a contract to expect always remains the same. And now that she said something different, then hell broke loose. Or now this new announcement of her feelings is going to be the tone of the relationship. No, just like when she told you she loves you and now she says she doesn't, well, the next day, again, when the problems are solved, she'll say again different. And both of you, both men and women, have this, they share this kind of interactions, or a flow of energy. So now, Excalibur says, look, Mehran, no dislikes. We don't have low quality people today. Well, you never know. I have noticed that in some of my videos, forever, I always notice there's 1, 2, or 3. It's like the same 3 people. When it's more than 3, I know, okay, some people didn't get it or didn't like it. That's fine. And I always focus on the ones who did like it, which is a lot more. So that's my, focal point. It doesn't matter how many people. But when it's only 3, I know, I just don't know who they are, but I know these are 3 people that they simply don't care about what the content is. They just want to send that kind of a negative energy, which it's not received. So it's just reflection on them, because the content obviously is pretty meaningful. So there we go. David, thank you. Dallas, Texas, 22. And let's catch up with the ones that I lost here. Okay, here it is. Black Hat, 30-year-old from Argentina. And Black Hat left one bit of information. Male or female? Black Cat says, I'm 30-year-old from Argentina. Okay, but male or female? Dunan, Carmen, 27, the Dutchie. I love it. Carmen, that obviously is a lady. Okay. So we have from Netherlands. I guess Dutchie means Netherlands, not Deutschland. So Nasro says, hi dear Mehran, try to beaten everybody, but oh well, it's okay. I was in my last class, nothing I couldn't do, but one day we'll be first person tuning in. Anyhow, I'm here now. Good, good. Glad you could join us. So, Bruno Garuti says, hello from Brazil. Hello, Bruno. Do you think that true love dies? It's possible to stop loving someone that one day was the world to me. See someone special become normal is so painful. Is this love or nostalgia? Well, what have you seen in life that has remained the same without change all through the experience of life? You buy a car, it goes through changes. The tires get used, the engine gets used and needs maintenance, and then eventually breaks down. A flower grows and it's so fresh, 6 o'clock in the morning or so, and then eventually it dies down, either that day and then again refreshed tomorrow, or it eventually runs its course and just no longer is as fresh or looks the same or smells the same. The whole life during the year, the weather changes. Spring, summer, fall, winter, they all have durations. Everything in life has a duration. So the fact that you expect the love that you have for someone should be an exception to the rule of changes being part of evolvement and advancement of life is not reasonable. So yes, some changes happen within the love and they don't separate, but most often there is a duration for everything. So when there is a duration of your relationship coming over, that's not a reason to despair or be sad. Of course, yeah, there is sadness, but because you're used to that environment, that image that you had, that norm, that order, that mechanical process, and that is what brings the sadness, because things are changed. But in reality, nobody has died. Everybody continuing their experiences in life, and so you should expect that to be a normal part of life. But trying to expect something to have a duration of forever, it's like expecting yourself to have never have changed from yesterday to today, both in molecules and cells, cell structure and everything else, and in your mentality and growth and your consciousness having been affected by the experiences and then developed and changed and so on and so forth. You have had a certain image of yourself through a relationship. In regards to the relationship, you created the image of yourself in your mind through the relationship, and you seek psychological security in the images that your brain creates. When the elements of creating that image, which in this case be a relationship, breaks down, you think that image was you, your psychological security was coming because of the image that you had created for yourself you liked. Now you're facing with the image that I used to know myself by is not there. That's a discomfort. Otherwise, it's not abnormal, because all that's been supposedly hurt or in pain is the difference between your image then and your image now. You're fine. Nothing has happened to you. You're the image maker. Only the images get hurt. Not you. But you think that you are the image that you made. And that image has become more important than you. And when something goes wrong with that image because the duration of some relationship ends, you think something has ended in you. You're still there. Try to now focus on your relationship with life rather than your relationship of your brain with the image that you made. Mind seeks refuge in images, seeks security in images. So you created a certain image and you felt secure. Now, for some reason, that image doesn't work anymore because the relationship is broken, and you feel you have no place for the mind to be, to play, to be part of it. And that's why you feel insecure. That's where the pain is. Otherwise, there is really no pain. There is no reality in that pain. There's no pain. It's just that your version, your understanding of how you created the security with yourself for your mind through the image that you had in this relationship, now you feel that you don't have that. And you feel, okay, where am I now? Because I used to know myself through that image. But you're still you. You're the image maker. You made that image. You know, and the question is there a difference between the image maker and the image? Well, because you constantly make different images throughout your day, throughout your life, then you should realize that you have the capability of making other images, and it will be just as great, just as this one was, because the image maker has not changed. It's you. The quality of the images you make of yourself, according to the relationships and the experience that you have, is still going to be just the way you like it to be. And rest assured that you will create another image through another relationship just as this one, or if not better, because your standards will still be the same. So the quality would be the same. So will be the quality of the relationship or the experience or whatever it may be, sports or whatever. So just be patient. I don't want to get too heavy on this. There's a video I have. It's called, "Is it the final?" Or "Is it final?" Then in that we discussed that, you know, the question that you have, oh, was the last time I would fall in love? You know, will I ever fall in love again? These are things that you can search on the channel. Pretty much, guys, I would be surprised if there is any emotion or any question about relationship or about these sort of things, scenarios after breakup that you might have in your mind, and you won't find it here. All you have to do is search for it, search for that word or feeling. Right now we hit over 800 videos, way over, and if I really get to trim all these live talks, there'll be another 1,000 videos, if not more, which each have their own titles, and you can find all kinds of answers to your emotional challenges. So rest assured, everyone, now one day when it's called for, we'll start talking about this whole image business. And that is a very interesting topic. And one of the reasons that you constantly want your ex back is because you don't retain the image of things that went wrong in your relationship. When you're doing your own thing and you no longer see your partner, you do not remember the partner with the images, negative images that that partner had. There is no image of that partner in your mind while you're doing your normal things. You're just doing it. When you think of her or him, whatever your relationship is, then you will pull up the files And most of the time you pull up the good files, the fun files. And all this that what I just explained causes you that you actually want the ex back, because all the memory that whenever you think of him or her is all good stuff, positive. The negative ones is not there. The images of how she or he was is not floating your mind at will. While you're doing your life, there is no image of that person. So there's no negativity in there. You just don't even remember. You're just doing your thing. When you see that person, then you remember the character of that person in entirety. So the question is here, when you don't see the person and doing your own normal things, you have no bad image, the knowledge, image being the knowledge of the behavior of that person. So therefore, because of that, you would tend to think you miss that person, miss your partner, because you don't have the image, the knowledge of how he or she was roaming around your mind for no reason, because you're busy doing things. So it's kind of tranquil, neutral. But when you see the person, then you bring all these files, all mixed files, good, bad. And the bad one comes with it. So then you're at a dilemma. Well, all this time, without seeing her or him, you missed the partner because there was nothing derogatory or negative coming to your mind. Now that you see her or see him, you are updated with all the information that is already existing here. Now you're confused. Do I want her or do I not want her? Do you want him or you don't want him? And that's the question that you go through, because it has to do a lot with how the images are playing the part in this whole emotional turmoil. Now, let's move on, otherwise this is going to be a 2-hour discussion on the images, which we will eventually can have when we have an interactive discussion. Maybe one day I will just put the question in and everybody, we can talk about that particular subject on that day for our live talk. Sometimes we can do that instead of just questions. So, we go on to Dunan, which is Carmen, says, I'm having a difficult time with feeling heartbroken. Why does it hurt so much? Ah, we just covered it actually. So let's talk about it. What hurts, Carmen? What is it that hurts? Because your mind seeks security in knowledge, being image, and creates images of yourself in your mind, and creates images of your relationship, and creates images of your partner, and you negotiate life, and you have relationship with life and with your loved ones, your partner, with their image. You have an image of yourself, you have an image of them in your mind. You have an image of yourself in your mind, of you, and you have an image of them in your mind, of them. These two images, and he or she has an image of, I just go one kind, I can't so go him, her. So she has an image of herself in her mind, of herself, and she has an image of you in her mind, and these two images, you and the image you have of her in your mind, and she and the images she has of you in her mind, the images are interacting. The images are having a relationship. And the mind seeks security by finding knowledge, finding image. And sometimes you seek comfort in an inferior image, sometimes you seek comfort and security in a superior image. But nevertheless, your mind holds on to an image. That's where his home is. He finds home in images. That's why in one of my books, Me, My Psyche, and I explained mind needs a home and how to give it that home. So you release yourself from having your mind search for images to seek refuge in them, because it already has a home, which means you start learning how to live without image. And when you don't have image, there is no place that your mind has sought refuge and call it home. And then when that relationship breaks up, feels then the image, his home is broken up, therefore is heartbroken. The question is, what hurts? All it hurts is the fact that you were used to a certain image and you're no longer enjoying or benefiting from that image that you had created of yourself and of your partner. So now that it's broken up, that image is hurt. But that image has no reality to it. It's a shelter. It's a shelter that through the day you constantly grab one image according to what it is that you want to do during that day. You know, as we talked about it, you go shopping, you have an image of a shopper. You sit in the bus, you have an image of passenger. You teach a class, you have an image of teacher. You go to see your parents, you have an image of son or daughter. In a relationship, you have that image of a girlfriend or a boyfriend. And once you understand that all has been hurt through that breakup, is that image that your mind had been seeking refuge in it, that shelter is broken. And you can make another image, if not that day for the same purpose, but when the opportunity arises for another relationship, there will be another image that you will create. In the meantime, focus on the fact that nothing has happened to you. You are the image maker. Only the image has been hurt, because only the image was having a relationship with somebody else's image, with another image. But in reality, you're intact. You're just as wonderful, you're just as beautiful, you're just as talented, you're just as smart, you're just as curious, you're just as interested in your project. Everything about you is the same. That's why we talked about yesterday in one fragment of the question of life is an illusion. Now we can tie this over to it. That's why life is an illusion. You're constantly having a relationship with life through the image you have of yourself in your mind, and the image of things and needs and other people, relationships that you have of other people in your mind. And these two images hurt each other, but in reality they're there to shelter, to shield you. You don't get hurt. If you understand that, you will see that a place where your mind was residing and to have security through that relationship, through that image, is only, so to speak, no longer functioning. So, but you're okay. You know, you're the baker, you're the image maker. So I don't know if that is something that you guys have grasped, or we can maybe discuss further some other time. Otherwise, it's a lecture on its own. So, Excalibur says, Ross says, Mehran, you're amazing and your contribution is very helpful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I'm going to change my name to Amazing Mehran. I don't see the amazing thing in me, but I take it. Thank you. It's amazing to be amazing. So let me see. Bro, I appreciate it. Very kind of you. I'm glad that you're enjoying the topics. Excalibur says, Mehran, do you have any musical knowledge or play an instrument? Maybe a horse-shaped guitar. Actually, I do play guitar. At least I used to, and I just now make a sound coming out of it. So, in fact, I do have one little bit that I was in a guitar store, and I was just fooling around with the guitar, and my son took a little bit of a shot, and I wasn't aware that he was, but then I became aware. So it's there. I think I've uploaded it. Did I or didn't I? It's on my Facebook. Maybe I'll put it up here for you guys to take a look. So, Black Hat says, should I get together with this girl to have sex? Are you asking me? I don't, do I need to know that? Even though we will never see each other again, she lives 500 kilometers away from me. As long as you're not walking that 500 kilometers, because by the time you get there, you wouldn't have much energy to do anything, let alone have sex with her. We have no romantic future together, but we agreed to meet just once. Yeah, it's between you and her. If you are both of legal age, mature and sane, you will decide if you guys have the feeling and interest to engage in that activity, sporting activity. To express our feelings, Black Hat said, but we won't be seeing each other again. What are your thoughts? Well, it's not my thoughts. You're the one who's going to have sex. It's your thoughts. And you figure out if that is something that she wants and that's something that you want. And it's both consenting adults, and you figure that is what you would like. The only thing I say is that you guys think it through and make sure you have protection. Otherwise, that 500-mile journey and once in a lifetime that you think you're going to have see each other will end up producing a baby, and then you will be seeing each other for a long time, even though you think you have nothing in common. So think it through, and then the way you go, you decide. You guys make the decision, not me. Study with me says, hey Mehran, how are you doing? Good. I think study with me stands for Anna. Am I correct? You guys are not reminding me. What's the protocol? Where you're tuning in, and how old you are, and boy or girl. And Carmen says, yes, the small country of Netherlands. There we go. I did visit Netherlands a few times when I was a child with my mom and my brother. I remember it was a beautiful park there. I got lost in there. And then my mother had called in the guards of the park, and they all had sealed the park doors. So apparently I was trying to exit the park. I was a kid, I think, I don't know, 5-year-old, I don't know, 6-year-old. And then one of the guards was able to find me, like stop me from exiting. So it's a very good country, very careful, very kind, and very, you know, I like that country. And of course, no one can deny is very pleasant, presentable ladies there, very chic, very beautiful, which I think I still remember even from that age. Netherlands, beautiful country, beautiful. I remember some things about it. So, Zahin says, hello sir, do you believe in laws of karma? What goes around comes around? I guess yes, I think so, because it's all about energy, and energy doesn't die, so you let it go one direction, eventually it's going to come back and hit you. So better that would be a good energy, because eventually it's going to catch up with you and touch you. While it touches other people, it's not just that if you know, it's like anything else. You make a dish that smells terrible. It's not just going to be affecting the others who smell it. It's also going to be affecting you. We just made it. If it's not right there, even if it's wind blowing, it'll still come around. So whatever you do, the action you do, there's an energy in it, and that energy doesn't die. Energy always goes from one end of the universe to the other end of the universe, and it always knows where it came from. So eventually it wants to come home, and if that's a bad energy, it's going to hit you right where you deserve. So without having these views or opinions or these beliefs, I don't think of them. I just feel that it's important for everyone to focus to extend positive energy in order to help things grow and develop, affect the society and life and nature itself as a whole in a positive way. And at its best, it's also when it goes around and affects the universe as a whole, makes changes through it, which those changes either directly or indirectly will affect you because of your actions. So it's logical to make sure that your actions are always affecting the society, community, nature, yourself, and everyone that is around you in a positive way. If it doesn't, well, look, negative brings negative and plus brings plus. So which one do you want to bring back to you? Naturally, some people call it karma. Alessandro says, hi Mehran, I would love to have a spiritual journey in India this summer for personal development. Do you know any special places in India, centers where to meditate? Thanks. I don't think you need to travel to India or any place for that matter to have a spiritual journey. There are many things that if you want to explore, you can read or you can discuss and you can learn. And if it's an Indian philosophy of some kind you want to follow, well, they have already exported it all over the world. You don't have to go to India. If you think that going to India gives you a certain kind of image of you that you would like to have your mind and come back with a certain kind of a different weight on you and different clout and fool yourself that you've become a guru or some kind. I'm not saying you. Usually people do these things because of the image. Don't. You can create that where you are. Change the life. You know, that's like going out and live like that, then you come back here and then you can't fit it in here. Might as well learn it and act it and live it right where you live. Not that, okay, I go to a vacation and I'm relaxed, but when I come back here, can you be relaxed here? Because that's where you live. Every day you should be relaxed. So let's learn something where you are and use it where you actually are most of your life, not just when you go to India or you go to Nepal or Japan or China or wherever. Your mind and your body is, you're supposed to have the coordination of the two and live your life where you're living, not just go somewhere to be something and come back and expect to be that something that you were there here. Well, why do you go? All the knowledge is available. You don't need to go to India. Learn it here, do your things here, practice that that mentality or that knowledge that you're interested in. Place, geographical place, there's no magic into geographical place. It's your mind that needs to process that knowledge and understand and explore it and ponder on it and think about it and analyze it and become one with it and make it to be part of you. Anyhow, that's my opinion on that. Black Hat says, how do you tell you really care about a girl and you really have feelings for her from just being horny because our programming for procreation? Well, it's actually happens when you get to know that person, because you wanting to feel you feeling excited and horny about sex with this girl that you like is a natural reaction or a program, as you said. But getting to know her is where you really can develop feelings, because you can have a sexual feeling about any girl that is meeting your standards and you find her pretty, because different people have different tastes and people have different definition of pretty, so everybody is pretty. But if you find someone that that girl is pretty for you, and it's very easy to have that feeling for intimacy. But that doesn't mean you know her. That feeling is not the feeling of love, it's a feeling of lust. Love comes a little bit later on when you get to know each other and you say, God, you really admire, and you feel the resonance between you two is really good, and you look at things together, find challenges and try to solve them together. You understand each other's consciousness. You go through life and experiences, interactions of daily life and help each other, and the way you're unselfish and supportive to each other, persevere for goals and be there for each other. All that is what really brings the real value of each person for the other one and makes it apparent for them. That's when they actually could fall in love. Otherwise, everything else is lust, because that's the program. You find the mate, the gender that you like, and you have a feeling for, the first feeling you have is attraction and intimacy. It comes to your mind. But that doesn't mean you love that person yet. You're in love. The love is on a consciousness level. Everything. That's why if it's not unconscious level, it always breaks down after a few times making love, because then there's no more novelty on that, and there's always other girls and other partners you can find that you want to be intimate with. So what's the specialty of that? Why would you be in love with someone that you can always feel the same lust and interest, if it's sexual only, with somebody else? So that can't be the limit of it. That can't be the real love. The love happens in consciousness level, and that takes time through interaction and relationship and living and knowing how they function and act and react and interact with life itself. So what you're talking about is really what is an instinct of that you have of a man who likes a woman. So, or whatever your relationship is, love is different than lust. Starboy Imran says hi, hello. Carmen says, is the spaghetti again, right? That's right, the spaghetti. Olga, almost on time. Hello, Mehran. Hello, Olga. Good to see you. Dobre diem. Is it? Or Dobre Vice, where you are? Yeah, I think Dobre Vice, where you are. It's already nighttime. Salih says, hey, I was watching you for about 2 years now. 2 years ago, I was broken man, but today everything that is left is just a bad memory. I wish I would stop thinking about it, but it does not affect me. But is it okay for me to not forgive in my mind for things that were done to me? Or is to forgive a step that we all must take to heal? What does this business of forgiving or not forgiving have anything to do with you going on with your life? Why do you have to forgive someone who has done something bad to you? You can forget. That's fine. That's the way it is. We forget. But what is this business of that if you don't forgive, you've committed a sin? Or you think if you forgive, then you're in higher echelon, closer to your whatever it is that you think your Almighty is? Is it your watcher that says, for you to be counted as a good person, I would like you to forgive this person who has done you wrong? Is that your watcher, your controller? Your observer tells you, and you're trying to impress your observer, which is in fact is you yourself, but you want to impress yourself as you have created a higher yourself, higher version of you in your mind about you, and now you want to impress that which is all you. So you've created a higher self which is created by you, and you want to impress that higher self which is you and created by you, by complying to its expectations, which is your expectation, but you have created that as a deity, and now you want to look good in its eyes. What the hell is that? Why do you have to focus on, I must forgive in order to be able to forget? You can forget and you go on and just understand that person did you wrong and fuck it, bye. Now you have to have the burden of forgiving. Why? Why do you have to dwell on that? Yeah? A dog bit you on the leg hard. Now you can forget about it, go get the medication for it and forget about it and go about your life. But why do you have to forgive the dog? What is it gonna do to you? He's gonna create a different image of you, about you in your mind, because you are trying to prove to something out there that you have created for yourself that you're a good person. And for that, you've been conditioned to forgiving, which has been an instrument after many authorities to condition you to comply and to abide by their rules and to obey and to be dominated and controlled, because forgiving has been their way of making you think that you will become closer to a certain deity if you have this characteristics of forgiving ability. And now you're stuck with that and thinking everybody who has done anything wrong with you, you have to forgive. You don't have to forgive, you can just forget and move on with your life. But what's this business that you have to? You want to forgive, forgive. You don't want to forgive, don't forgive. There's nothing that crucial in your ability to feel good. You know, there's so many people in the world have done bad. Why should I forgive them? I can focus on my life and do my best to be who I am and affect the society and communities in a positive way as best as I can in this journey of life. But why does it have to do anything with me forgiving someone who has done bad to the world or to other people around the world or whatever else it's been? Why? What's the meaning? What's the purpose of you wanting to forgive something? It's selfishness. The purpose of it is selfishness, because you want to, in the eyes of your own observer, which you have created that as God, you want to prove that I am complying with, I've been brainwashed that the God's qualities are, and I want to be close to that characteristics. Therefore, I imitate and I forgive. But you damn well know that you don't want to forgive the asshole. So why should you? Because you are selfish. You want to climb a level towards that what you have created as your God, and you're trying to prove to that, which is you. It's your own thoughts have created that image. So you're trying to prove to your own observer, which is you, that you are better than what you are by doing something they've been conditioned to do by the society in order to control and dominate you through this life. Get over that. It was an experience, it was a shitty experience, then move on. And so at least remember that whenever you see and come in contact with that particular person, you know, oh, I know that person, I don't want to go near him or near her, you know? That's a person that is took my money, or that's a person that, you know, cheated me out of that deal, or that's a person that you have a relationship with. Either way, you want to know that girl or that man for whatever has been a relationship or connection between whatever you experienced. So, having said that, Olga says, I have this strange memory thing. I like to hear that. Everything I try to remember something not only... Okay, Let me start again. I have this strange memory thing. Every time I try to remember something, not only I want to remember it, but I want to feel it, relive it again. It doesn't matter if it was good or bad, 10 years ago or a month ago. It's like I need to feel it, otherwise I almost panic. It drives me crazy, and it is absolutely detrimental for me. Why my brain does that? It seems to me, as you know, again, I just want to make sure, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician, and I'm not a psychiatrist. I am who I am with my understanding and experiences and research about different things. So what I'm saying is my opinion. It seems to me that you have a certain kind of an OCD about having to go through the end of a subject in order to feel that you're aware of its dangers or its characteristics, and therefore you dare it to hurt you or harm you. That's why you go to the end of it by feeling it, by exploring it further, remembering it, and even you may actually go further than what it was. Just because you feel like if I do that, then I'm brave, I'm in control, and if I don't do it, I've shied away and I escaped from its consequences. And at the same time, you think if you do think it through, even though you add a bunch of things, negative things to it, to the story, then that wouldn't happen because you thought of it and you're ahead of it. You're aware of it because you think there is a extraordinary power out there that by going through it and visualizing everything and feeling it and so on, and maybe adding some other drastic things to it, then you will tell that observer or whatever that you think is watching it that you're aware of it and you're not afraid of it. Instead of all that bullshit, just simply say, I have dealt with it before, I have already examined it, I don't need to play with it again. That's it. It's like a paper that your teacher has asked you to write in university or in classroom or whatever. And you wrote it carefully. And you reread it carefully. You examined it carefully. And you finished it. But now every time that that same paper comes along, the subject of it, you're not supposed to read that again. You just say, I know, I've already done that homework. I've already checked it and rechecked it and examined it and checked my fact and sources. You just remember what you have done, not the actually what it was. By reminding yourself that I've done all these, then I now have no reason to do it again. So when this thing that you've already gone through it and thought about it, these memories that you talk about, when they come back to you again, you can tell yourself, I know this file, I've already dealt with it. I've already gone through it, explored it, examined it once before or a few times before. I don't need, just remember that you've done this, not that going through and redoing it again in order to complete the fact that you have attended to it. Just remind yourself that you have attended to it. That's the end of that. Then go on. You don't need to feel anything again and again, just to make sure that I have, and I'm not scared of this, I have it under control, or I can face it. You've done that. We do it once or twice and that's it. The brain through that knowledge that you go through, that memory, by going through it and remembering all those feelings, all that, you create an image. And then you'll see you're no longer afraid or intimidated or challenged by that image. And because you forget that you've done this before, or you don't forget, you just want to see if it's still the same. I'm still, not moved by it if I think about that memory. So you go through it again just to prove to yourself that you're okay with it. And then you create an image by having done this again, the image of that I'm okay with it. Instead of remembering that I've created that image and I don't need an image, I'm okay with it. My brain is here. But the brain is basically has a job to create trouble, look for possibilities, and wants to go through it to see if there's something there that I've overlooked. Just understand that it was way back, and even if you overlooked something, it doesn't exist. The whole thing is dead, no longer in existence. So going in there to check something that is already dead is futile, waste of time. Because you can't fix it, you can't change it, you can't make any modification to it, only in your memory, in your thoughts about the memory, which is just living life in illusions and wasting your time. Understand that what you're trying to experience doesn't exist anymore. So why do you want to experience something that doesn't exist? What does it do for you? What is its benefit? Nothing, other than the fact that you want to remind yourself that that image I had then, which I forgot how it looked like, I'm now creating that image again by remembering, reminiscing that whole memory. You don't need that image. That image has done its job, or whatever it was is gone. So just come in and be with life and interact with your life, instead of spending your time thinking that creating that image of you remembering all that thing will give you any benefit. It wouldn't. Just waste your time. Most images are useless anyhow. That's why we try to live our life without image. Then we'll be free from all these feelings of that I need to reminisce this memory, because it creates a certain image to me, a certain knowledge and certain image, and I need that image, so my mind seeks refuge in that image and feels secure. But when you don't have any need for an image, you won't do these things anymore, because the results of doing these things is an image, and you don't need an image. You want to live without an image, and you can. Then you will be free from all that nonsense. I hope it was something for you to grasp. Excalibur says, that's Mehran. We have Aikido and now guitar in common. Oh, really? I've played for more than 13 years. Well, you probably play real good. I just played when I was a kid, and then I still play a little bit flamingo of some kind, or some tune here and there, but nothing that could be compared to someone who's played for so long. Just sometimes when I feel like it, want to enjoy something, I do. Sally says, okay, Sally's talking to Norman. Iskopina says, why girl that broke up with me wants to stay in contact? Anthony 32. The question is, why do you want to be in contact? You see, the problem is with some of you guys, some of us guys, that whatever girl wants to do, we think that is what we should comply with. Because she's a woman, and we love women, and we love intimacy, and we've talked about it in other videos, why woman is important, how you know woman, and all that. We have videos on that. And all that plays in your head, and you think you have to comply. As long as a woman wants to be with you, then you just can't pass up and you got to find the reason, and there's something mystic in it. No, you got to figure out, do you want to be with that woman that you know how the relationship went? Why don't you also qualify the woman who wants to be with you, rather than just as soon as she appears, which brings to your mind softness, kindness, love, intimacy, sex, and pleasure, and all that psychological security through the climax in the sexual activity, which is where you will have no pain, no responsibility, no awareness of anything or challenges, including not even be aware of your own existence. Therefore, you and universe become one. And that is what you see the woman as the source of, arriving to that point. And therefore, you don't think any further that, what about her consciousness? From here to the sex part, will I be able to interact with her consciousness? Because the sex part is easy. Everybody likes the sex. If that was the only thing, and there was no other need to understand or interact with any other part of a woman, and for women, men, or whatever your relationship is, then therefore there would be no breakups or no challenges or no deviations and conflicts. But it is from here to the sex part, there is interaction between the consciousnesses. So you got to see if that consciousness of that girl that wants to be in touch with you is beneficial to you or not. Why do you have to just simply see why she's doing that? Why don't you ask yourself, why should I do it? What is the reason for you to want to accept or not accept? These are the questions you got to ask yourself. You know, so, you know, women are wiser than guys in these sort of things. They consider their own well-being and what's in it for them, what's good is for them. But the guys can't think further than, oh, she's hot, and she gives me that feeling of, oh, I feel good about, I like the image I have when I'm with this woman. And then suddenly nothing else comes to your mind, and then you go into the relationship, and again, it doesn't work. Why? Because you're only focusing on one segment of this movie rather than the whole story and the challenges of it. Okay. I hope that would be something for you to think about. Carmen says, thank you, sir. It's very helpful. It's very nice. You like the Netherlands. Have a good evening. See you next time. Okay, dear. Be good. Always asking, guys, is it lagging only for me? I don't know, guys. How is the reception? Is it lagging? And Sally says, yes, it lags. Sally says, Mehran, is creating a family the most important thing in someone should do in life? I'm 33 years old, and I'm asking myself, are serious relationships worth it? Always a risk with them. Well, that is not a question that you can ask me, Sally, because it is exclusive, that answer, to each person, depending on what it is that you want, what the stage of life you are, how do you see yourself. Are you ready to commit yourself to a family life? One woman, which we are conditioned to think that we should be living our lives with one woman at a time, of course. And then that whole idea of it may scare some people, that, wow, how can I be able to interact with one entity all my life? And what if it breaks down? Then all the things that I have built, it's going to go to poof. And then my money and the things that I have built is going to be divided. She's going to take half of it or whatever. And what about children? Do I have time to spend time with them? Do I want to spend my time with them? Am I ready for it? Do I still want to explore? All these questions come, and all the perceptions of what marriage has been in life, and you've heard about it, divorce, and she takes half of the things, or he takes half of the things, or whatever the story is, wherever you are. All that creates a scenario in your mind about marriage and about having a family, and it doesn't let you actually make that family in the way that you like it, because you have already a perception of what family making is going to be all about. And that's going to take you away from really recognizing what is it good for you, and perhaps going to be different for you. Instead, you're perceiving that the whole concept the way that has been done or explained or been talked about in the community and society in the country, and the traditions and cultures and things that you've been raised in. So the question would not be to me, question would be knowing what it is entailed, what entails in making a family. It's responsibility of being able to provide for the family. I don't know if it, I don't care if it's about the man providing or the woman. I'm not entering into the politics of this or that. Just the way it's been done or is being practical, or however you want to call it. Somebody, in your case, we're talking about you. So you got to be responsible to provide, whether the girlfriend or the wife will provide or not. That's a different story. We're not talking about that. We're just saying that in your case, you got to be providing for the family. Are you up for it? And you got to be providing time out of your expectations of how your life and your time will be spent for your family, for your building your family, possibly children, and providing for them and all that. You got to see if that you're up to that. If that is the most important thing to be done with someone's life, not necessarily. Lots of people that do wonderful, great things for humanity and for life and for experience, according to what it is that they want to experience, what they're interested in, rather than just following a certain setup or steps that they have been conditioned to follow as family, being this or being that. It's all about family, whether you have created children with your wife yourself, or you're just living your life and doing your best and expressing and affecting the world in a positive way. You are part of a family of the world. There is a family. Its family is already creating every day, whether you directly made children or not. The family is already there. The fact that you're interacting, these are all family. But in this family is so big, there's so many assholes, so many garbage, so many pleasant people and so many unpleasant people are there. It just doesn't mean that family is just a small one. They're all family, but in family there are all kinds of people. So it doesn't mean just if you call the whole world family, that means you like everybody, or everybody is meeting your standards. No, it just means we are a pack. We are living in this bigger family that we are living in, and so you don't need to make a family. You just got to see if you want to contribute to making children and have that setup of what family means to you, that you've been conditioned to think that's what family is. So I don't think making a family is the most important thing to do in life. There's so many other things to learn, research, experience, and contribute. And whoever contributes to the world and nature and the community live in a positive way, to help things develop and grow, make a change to people's lives and comfort, that's a very important thing. Many people make families, but those families end up growing up to be assholes and murderers and so on. So what's the good of making family? So it's not about making family, it's about making the difference and making the influences that you bring about to the nature, not making a family, a physical new additions. It's about how your energy is affecting the life, the nature, the society, and the communities that you live in, and the people around you. That is what is most important, not making a family. Okay, you make family and they become what? Drug dealers or murderers or what now? What's good at that? So it's not about making family, it's about extending the energy, making a difference in a positive way to people's life and nature, and help things grow and develop. And I think that would be the most important thing that we should focus on. Iskopina says, thank you, Mehran, you're welcome. Sally says, what do you think about communications today? Are text-based conversations good enough? How did technology affect relationships? Yeah, of course, everybody is safe to say whatever they say without really having to feel the emotion of what they're saying. Because when you say something face to face, there's the expression of the face of the other person, there's the energy coming right back to you, close distance, and the words may be uttered, or the emotions resonate back to you. You won't get any of that when you're texting. You're sitting behind your desk in safe place, and you'll be shielded from all that immediate reactions of what you uttered, what you said, and the effect of what you said. So therefore, the communications have become really insensitive. Kind of like, you know, things that we see around the world being done remotely. They don't feel the effect of it. Therefore, it's easy to do it. But the same person would feel differently if they were very close to the effects of the action that they are making. Right or wrong, that's not the topic of discussion here. It's about the effect of what is being done felt, because you're right where you're actually making that effect or action, or are you far away from it and shielded from the emotional returns of your actions. So when you're having text discussion with your girlfriend or boyfriend, it's very unemotional and it's very safe for you. So you can say whatever you want. So that's why then afterwards you guys see each other, suddenly you feel differently. Okay, Olga says, thank you for the talk, Mehran, you're great. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Looks like we have discussed and responded to every question here. I thank you again for being here. Love you all. Thank you for sharing your time with me. Please don't forget to share the videos that you like. And like this chat right now here before you all leave. Just like it, click on the like. And again, make sure you talk about it and introduce it to friends and so on and so forth. And if you have, again, connections with any kind of you know, medium, radio, television, newspaper, whatnot, talk about it and let the channel to be known further, and we get visibility, and at the same time we will maybe gain more subscribers and reach other people, more people, to help around the world. Thank you again. Be good to yourself and to the others, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.